La saggezza degli uomini è
Wisdom is madness in the eyes of God. What are these beautiful words telling you? Which chords are they striking? Well, let's take a step back now to what we were saying. The majority of people is trying to control what's happening in their life, quite often without even being aware of doing so. The Buddha says that achieving what we desire doesn't make us happy. You heard me saying this very often. I really believe it is such a powerful tool. I constantly remind you of this at every single meeting and every time I get a chance. Probably most of you heard me saying it over and over again. It looks like the Buddha was talking about this very often in his sutras, almost as often as he talked about the Four Noble Truths. I am pretty sure he knew what he was doing, not in a calculating way, but recognizing the power behind these words, even though probably no one was actually understanding him. Probably even nowadays there are very few who are ready for these inner clicks. However, I really believe that more and more people are ready in comparison to the past centuries, and this is exactly how the new emerging consciousness is emerging.
parole del Buddha, e cioè
So let's go back to Buddha's words. Even if absolutely everything I desire manifests in my life, I won't be happy anyways. Therefore, this means that if I can manifest what I want in my life, things could go well for myself, and nevertheless this wealth won't make me happy. Well now, if you are being present, I'd like to ask you a question. Do you realize that when things are not going in the way you wanted them to, you are not happy? But have you ever noticed that even when things are going in the direction you want them to, you are happy for a little while, actually better saying fulfilled, but soon this happiness shades away? I mean, do you realize that this is not real happiness? Because we are always focused on if something we want doesn't happen, we are not happy. However, can you notice that, maybe without saying it out loud, the majority of people will probably think you are a bit crazy, that as soon as you make something you want happen, or as soon as you obtain what you desire, deep down there is a sort of inner voice saying, "Okay, thank you, and now?" Can you feel the call to something else? I'd like to invite you to look at the parts of your life's chapters when you felt deeply disappointed, and the parts of your life's chapters when you felt extremely fulfilled. Can you notice that in the background of both scenarios there was authentic happiness? Because you made your happiness dependent on if something happens, then I will be happy, or if something doesn't happen, then I'll be unhappy. So the first invitation for you is realize that when something you want doesn't happen, you are unhappy. But even if you manage to make things you want happen, you can be joyful, happy for a little while, but deep down it's like you already know that you won't find happiness in this way. Rings a bell?